You have reached your destination.
Yep. And here is today's conundrum. Not a conundrum, but uh, so I had a core plug pop a while back, and I replaced it with a what do you call it? A acorn freeze plug. I don't know what you call it. Got a little bit of sealant on there. You tighten it down. It expands a disc on the inside, and Bob's your uncle. The hole is plugged. A little bit later, this sucker popped, and I was having a hell of a time with that acorn plug. So I used one of the black neoprene ones. You can see it's a little bit off kilter. At some point, I'll drain the radiator a little bit, loosen that thing, and put it back on so that it looks better. Or I'll replace it with an acorn nut. Acorn nut's been giving me hell because I can't get a wrench around it at the right place, and on and on. Third one is good to go so far. I don't see any evidence of this thing leaking or weeping or anything. It's got a good dimple in the middle. That's a Welsh plug, and it's nothing more than a slightly concave disc that gets whacked right in the center. As you can see, the dimple that expands it out, and it plugs up that hole. On the back, you can you can sort of see it. Look for the hole right there, about middle of the picture, is the fourth core plug, and it must be noted that I'm running a 5-main MGB engine. There it is. And as insurance, I was advised to, not insurance, but as a safety measure, I was advised to put a Betson, B-E-T-S-O-N, Betson bolt in there, and not cinch it down too hard, but make sure that the darn plug doesn't pop. If it does pop, then I can just tighten that Betson bolt down a little bit, and Bob's your uncle. And I could not figure out how the hell you put a larger washer behind that hole. And I puzzled it and worked it and thought about it and came up with answers that didn't make sense for 5 weeks. Until I realized you can get it behind the goddamn thing. So there's the other plug. You can kind of see it sort of in the center of the screen there. No evidence of weepage or leakage or anything else, and there's the hole that that one can access it. Getting in there with the engine out, yeah, easy. You put another acorn nutted freeze plug on there, and Bob's your uncle. However, because the engine's already installed, getting in there is a bitch. And I just could not figure out how the hell to get back in there. All right, so stupid. Anyway, so I'm going to pause and turn off my camera's light. So here's one option I had considered, and I still may do it actually. I forgot the name of these things. I use these things to great effect in suspending an HO scale model railroad for my ceiling in my basement. So apparently these things will take 150 pounds of pressure or more, and you probably see, you've seen these things probably hanging in your own plants in your ceiling, but this bends down. I could shove it through the hole and it would pop out, right? Obviously this bolt is too short. It's a 5/16, I think. And I could probably do it that way. That hole may be too shallow to take this entire amount, but that is certainly an option. The option I'm going to go with is this. My homemade Betson Bolt. I've seen a couple of options online, and some people machine these things, come up with really nice ones, weld a couple of things together, and here's mine. I could not find a washer thick enough. Typically noted as the it's a cup washer in the what do you call it? The valve guides or the valve something, or one of the washers on the exhaust manifold. I couldn't find those things, so I have a couple of stainless steel ones. They're a little bit thin, so I put 3 of them together, enlarged the hole, and put some JB Weld between the sandwiches to keep them together. And I put another bolt on there to draw it all out. Okay, so what will happen once the JB Weld cures, the top one comes off. That's just to keep things squished together. And I will turn the entire assembly around so that this nut is on the outside. I'll feed it through from the side. I'll screw this puppy in, and that is that. I can't believe it took me 5 weeks to figure it out. So Barney, bless your heart if you're watching. Dick, I'm sorry to have blown up your phone so many goddamn times to come up with this solution. And I am done. It actually took longer to thread and tighten down than it did to anything else. It was actually pretty easy. So let me show you. There. Look at the center of the screen in the mirror. I think it's, you can kind of see it. Yeah, so it's the bolt is nice and snug up against the Welsh plug in there, but not so that it would cause it to deform even further or loosen it. So all I'm going to do is keep it in there. It was kind of a bitch, I'll be honest. Turning and turning and turning, and I can only do like 1/4 to 1/8 of a turn at a time, even with a wrench. So, yeah. Hopefully, that sucker won't go bad. But I'm done. So that is the Betson Bolt. Yep.